welcome to the CAR mid-session legislative review and update. We're so happy to have you with us today. So we have 5 subcommittees. Let's get into business and taxation first. I think one of the ones you're going to find pretty interesting that they're looking at is House Bill 22-1030. This is an income tax credit for package anti-theft devices. So if you purchase something that prevents against porch pirates, you might be able to get $75 back from the state. So that's kind of an interesting property crime deterrent bill. And the LPC is just watching that one, but they think it's very interesting. For all of those of you who are tracking short-term rentals, this is a bill we really like. House Bill 22-1117 allows local governments to use their lodging tax in a different way. So we already have lodging tax. You might have known that if you do a VRBO or an Airbnb. It's part of the nightly charge, but traditionally those lodging tax funds have only been allowed to be used for tourism and marketing type of purposes. This bill expands the local use capacity so local governments can allocate that money to affordable or workforce housing that affects their tourism and recreation workforce. And so we think that's one of those innovative solutions that gives local governments the flexibility without regulating the ability for property owners to use short-term rentals. So we are in full support of that bill and we're happy to see it go forward. Also, one good thing to point out about that bill is it still requires a Tabor vote. So if you expand your lodging tax, it does have to be locally approved by voters. One of those bills that we are very happy to see come forward. This bill was literally just introduced not too long ago. House Bill 1166 is going to incentivize the ability for us to continue to promote Colorado timber industry. A lot of us have seen pine wood furniture that comes from that beetle kill. We are going to work on continuing that tax credit. All right, couple of other sort of cleanup bills is what I would say. Senate Bill 115 is actually clarifying a court case, and this one's already on its way to the governor. It's clarifying terms around landowner liability. So this is all about if someone comes onto your property, traditionally a business in this sense, it will, if they cause a harm, you as the property owner are not going to be liable for that person that came onto your property. This is reversing a court case. And so this is a bipartisan solution that the legislature is clarifying. No, we don't agree with the court on this. The law that we meant to pass means if someone comes in and causes harm to people on your property, that is the person who is liable, not the person who owns the property. We're continuing our theme of criminal justice reform this year. And so one of the bills the LPC is looking at is Senate Bill 2299. This is a sealing of criminal records bill. So traditionally we don't get heavily involved in labor and employment unless it really impacts the real estate industry or independent contractors directly. The biggest thing about this bill is an amendment that we were able to get into the bill. So there was a provision of the bill that said essentially, if you are not, the bill is all about automating sealing of records in a process that already exists. But one of the early versions of the bill had a provision in it that would have said, it's a violation of the Fair Housing Act if you don't comply with this act. Well, we have that provision stripped out of the bill because you shouldn't be liable for whether or not you can see if someone has a criminal record because it's a sealed record. It's not, you wouldn't be aware of it. So we clarified that you shouldn't be liable for something you're not aware of. So again, another great opportunity for us to make sure legislation is clear and distinct going forward. That's it for this update. Check out our next video to learn more in the links below.